sequel, so I thought we'd start with the last one. How did you go about to reboot Doom?
Back in 2016?
Yeah, exactly.
So long ago. You know, I think at a high level we took everything that we've loved and fans have loved about Doom really since 93 and 94. We looked back at those original games, what made them tick, kind of what the DNA was, and tried to then you know, create something that was really appropriate for a modern audience with that DNA. So, you know, a lot of the things that kind of took people by surprise, like no reloading, no taking cover, you know, small number of guns, relatively small number of guns, but really, really impactful, very meaningful. All of those things were kind of the things that I think when we launched Doom 2016 took people by surprise. You know, that something that was rooted and inspired by something so classic really could feel so good in a modern console or on PC. So that was kind of the approach there.
Yeah, and you mentioned some examples for like no reloading and stuff like that. Was there anything from the old types of Doom that didn't fit in the modern game?
I don't think so. I mean, it all kind of worked. I don't think that players want to be as lost as they get in the classic Doom games. But we still need to make the level design an engaging experience, something for you want to master the level, you want to master the encounter. So we still do that just like they did in the classic Doom games, but probably maybe not so hardcore the way they did before. I don't know that they would have done that had they had access to some of the tools that we have now anyway. No. So. But it's been good, yeah. It's a real Doom game.
Yeah, it really feels like a classic but modern game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for Eternal, you're building upon that. You introduced this new kind of system for health and ammo and stuff like that. Were you afraid of going from the pack? Because I know a lot of people really like to pick up health and ammo and stuff like that on the map. What's your thoughts about that system?
Yeah, I mean, there's still health on the map. I think the big thing is that you know, we wanted Doom Eternal to be an experience that was meaningful and really took you on a journey to being this badass from beginning to end. And the combat does that. I mean, we had. In Doom 2016, when you glory killed a demon, you got health, and when you chainsawed, you got ammo. This adds something like Flame Belch, where you can burn guys and get armor from it. So it kind of completes the cycle there with that stuff, and just really sets the player up to know that if I need something, if I need a resource in combat, I'm going to take it from the demons, and that's my method for doing it. And to really reinforce that, to ensure that players understand that is the meta of that experience. The resources within the level have been reduced, but you still see health packs, you still see health vials, you still see ammo. Everything becomes more meaningful, and you don't just fly by it and pick it up as you like. I don't know how much that meant or whatever. You really think about it, and that's a big part of what we've been trying to do with Doom Eternal, is engage the player constantly in how they're playing and the thought process of how they solve the combat puzzle.
Yeah, it really feels like you need to get into the real flow of gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How do you design such a thing? Is it?
I mean, I think it's just about being aggressive, and certainly you kind of pull the components all together. We know that we want, as Marty said, the player to control the fight. We know we want to encourage them to be aggressive, to not hide. So we have to tune the enemies to make sure that they encourage the player to play that way. So if they do hide, they're designed to kill them, you know. And then eventually you just start to feel this flow kind of take place, a little bit of a rhythm, action game kind of thing. And it just feels awesome. I mean, I'm taking things from the enemies as they attack me, and I deliver damage to them. So it's really cool. It's kind of ridiculously violent, but it's all. I think it's smart too. That's the thing. We were proud of it. It's a smart action game.
Yeah, I mean, you feel really good when you're in that flow. And you added the grappling hook for shotgun. I guess that's changed how you build the levels.
Not really, because it's not a grappling hook in the traditional sense that you can use it anywhere in the environment. You use it to pull yourself closer to demons, so it only sticks into demons. I think more than anything, our levels have changed just as a result of having kind of a broader movement set and different movement capabilities. The Slayer's a bit faster. He can double dash now. That was probably the biggest thing that changed our level design was the dashing. It also changed our demon design and the tuning of the demons. When you could dash, you could dodge a lot of the kind of Doom 2016 demons attacks. So the team really ratcheted up the speed at which they can attack and the damage that they do, so that dashing does become an integral part of the combat dance. So also the size and scale of the demons in some cases has gone up. So there's been different things that have pushed level design, but also we've made a lot of Hugo can talk about it, but a lot of design decisions to have the level design push you just like the combat does. We don't want players to just think Doom is an engaging combat experience. It's an engaging combat experience and an engaging level design experience. They're solving the environment as much as they're solving the combat.
Yeah. Do you have any examples for that?
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of 3 core mechanics in the game. We have punchables, shootables, and breakables. Each of those, they're very kind of like these binary puzzle solving tools, and we kind of call them like 16-bit puzzle mechanics. It's really, really cool though, and they're really intuitive, and we use them in very clever ways. So if there's a green crack on something, you could break it. So, and it goes from there. Like if it's on a chain, it would drop something. If it's on a wall, you could pass through it. And we do a lot of really clever things with it, and I'm really excited for fans to feel that. As Marty said, we want to make sure that every inch of the game is really engaging for players, not just the arenas.
Yeah. You were talking about it, but is the movement the biggest change in this game, or is it?
Everything's changed.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing that hasn't been overhauled or what we feel improved upon. You know, from story to level design to combat to AI design to guns
to scope. I mean, you're going places that you've never even thought you would go in a Doom game. I mean, hell on earth. I mean, like massive cities that are overrun by hell. You're going to this Sentinel homeworld. You're going to really unbelievable new depths of hell, heaven. It's just such a, from beginning to end. If it was a book, it'd be a page turner, because like you never stop seeing something new. There's never a time where the engagement and the challenge stops. It's just it's new every course of the way.
Yeah, talking about going new places. Fans really loved the retro parts of the last one, going into the old maps in the new engine. Are you doing something similar for fans?
No, I mean, similar in that there'll be optional arenas that you have to unlock and find. So there's a bit of a game to that. You have to find the key, and then it's called Slayer Gate. And then inside the Slayer Gate is a golden gore nest, which unlocks a really, really tough arena fight. And then you'll get a special progression item out of beating those arenas. So, yeah, that's what we'll have then in place of that, as well as secret encounters throughout the level that are optional. But if you unlock them, you get combat points.
I think that speaks to kind of the philosophy behind a lot of what we did. Was those were cool, and it was a very good nod to the original, and it was fun to kind of be in that 16-bit, 8-bit world and 16-bit, and come out and see like that contrast was awesome, but those encounters weren't particularly challenging. It was just kind of more the nostalgia factor, and I think if we did that again, I don't know that it would land as well with people. It would be like, oh, I've seen this in the last game, and we don't want people to play this game and be like, yeah, that's kind of like last game. Yeah. We really want to push it. So as he talks about the new encounters you find, very much a similar type of thing. You're finding something, a new encounter, a new arena, but it's much more meaningful this time from a gameplay perspective, and of course we've got tons of nostalgia just built into the game as a whole. So I really think it's a nice twist and gives players something totally new in this game.